Tom Chaplin, how are you doing?
Extremely well, yeah.
Really? And playing this evening?
Yeah, playing at this great festival, Beatstad, and we're very honoured to be headlining, and really looking forward to the set. We played at Pink Pop back earlier on in the year here in Holland, and it was an incredible festival, very memorable. We were treated very well by the Dutch fans, and I hope it'll be more of the same tonight. They're always very warm to us, and our music seems to be very popular here.
Yeah, we walked around on the field earlier, and we were asking people who do you want to see, and literally everybody said, well, Keane, of course.
Well, that's very flattering and inspiring, because not everywhere that you go, and especially with festivals, you can't always expect to be the main event and the thing that people are anticipating the most. So we're very flattered when we come somewhere and there's that sort of degree of excitement about Keane.
But crowds like this are business as usual for you guys, probably.
Well, it's certainly lovely to play to lots of people, and we've certainly got used to that. Really enjoy it. I think there's something about the music that we make and the way we go about things that really works in a big context like this with lots and lots of people. I think we really respond to, and our crowds really respond to, that sense of a huge kind of community of people all singing the same songs and going through the same emotions. And I think that for me is what a great gig is. It's when you get that sort of that sense of everybody feeling the same thing and going on the same adventure. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, but how is it to deal with success like that on a personal level?
Well, it's certainly been an interesting last 4 or 5 years for us as a band, and certainly for me personally. I think these days I'm a lot more experienced, and I kind of have been through some difficult times, but I think I now kind of have an understanding of how to deal with life on the road and how to deal with the incredible highs that you get. I think that's the key to it.
You're not used to that, of course.
Well, I think there's just so many occasions when things are just out of this world. For a band like us, for three guys who grew up in a small town, and as we were talking about before we started the interview, we grew up in this small town, and I think the kind of bright lights and the world of big successful bands seemed a very long way away. So it's taken us time to adapt to that. And when you go out and you sing in front of 20,000 people, of course, it's a kind of huge buzz, and something that's not many people ever get to experience in their lives. And I think I found it quite hard to get used to that, and being the front man and being the guy that everyone's kind of looking to. So I think nowadays I feel much more comfortable in my own skin and much happier about being that person and having that role, and I think I just look forward to it and cherish it now.
Okay. Your last album took us back to the 80s a little bit.
Yeah. How
did that come about?
Probably, I think in a weird sort of way, we were kind of tapping into our sort of childhood consciousness as a band. We all grew up in the 80s, and we've always loved bands like the Talking Heads and people like Bowie and the Smiths, and then a lot more kind of the sort of poppier end of the 80s. Anything that was on the radio when we were kids that was kind of popular, whether it was kind of Tapao or a-ha, or bands like any kind of bands like that were mainstream pop success. Have kind of stuck in our memories and our minds as people, and we I think with this album we were let loose in the studio because we produced it ourselves, and we had this kind of sense of real freedom, and I think somehow along the line we started to draw on all the influences we had when we were kids, so it meant getting a lot of kind of vintage synths out, and I suppose just that kind of element of playfulness, about having fun and not really worrying about whether something sounded a bit kind of crazy. It was just about whether we were enjoying making the music and doing something really different, and I think that really comes across this record.
What does the future bring?
That's a big question. I don't know. I mean, I think one of the things we feel good about is our kind of togetherness as a group at the moment. And when I think we made the last album, and certainly when we made the second album, there was a question about whether whether we were kind of happy in what we were doing, and I think one of the things we really feel now is just this sense of excitement about being Keane and making music in the future. So there will definitely be plenty for us to still give to the world, I hope. And
A new album?
yeah, I hope so. And we have a mini album I think we're going to release in May of next year, which some tracks we've been working on with a guy called Keane, who's a Canadian Somalian hip hop artist.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, but really good. You know, I think people will be surprised by that when they hear it. You know, I think the perception will probably be, or the preconception will be, oh, Keane working with a hip hop artist, this is just going to sound all wrong. But it's one of those things, I think when you hear it, you realise it does make sense, and it has Kane's got this kind of emotive quality as a hip hop artist that I think maybe some of his contemporaries probably don't. And it sort of chimed in very well with what we do as a band. So I think it was a really happy kind of marriage of styles, actually, in the end. And we're hoping to do some more work with Kanye West, and we also have a few other songs that we've just been playing around with while we've been on the road. So this mini album is kind of the culmination of lots of different ideas at lots of different times over the last couple of years. And it's nice that we've kind of done something aside from just touring. You know, I think many bands, and including ourselves in the past anyway, have kind of gone on the road, toured, that's it, and then you take a break, and then you get in the studio, and then you get back out and tour, and it's kind of quite a regimented process. And for us, making music's much more about trying to, you know, do all of those things all at the same time, I suppose. You know, tour and record and write and find inspiration. We want to try and make sure we're doing all of those things as often as we can. So,
did you write something tonight already?
I was sitting on the piano actually just now, yeah, just singing a few tunes. I was kind of competing with the sound of the stage, which can often be the problem on the road. It can be very hard to kind of write, or very hard to think sometimes at festivals, just because they're so loud. But no, it's nice. It's good. It's a good release. It's a good way of expressing yourself and letting stuff out.
You gonna rock the house tonight?
Absolutely. I can't wait. I've had an enormous, gigantic sleep last night. We played a Rock Insane festival last night, which was in France, at the scene of the Oasis altercation, which I didn't see, and apparently I don't know when the altercation happened. I never even saw Oasis the whole day, basically. But we had a great time there, and then yeah, I always feel after. When we were on the road, I would sleep incredibly well. So I slept very well last night. I slept about 3 hours this afternoon. So I'm absolutely kind of bursting with energy. So you'll see it all out there tonight on the stage. It's gonna be great. I love playing in the dark, and I love playing to the Dutch fans. Our music is so loved and respected here. It's a great honour.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.